welcome. My name is Raymond Ijoma, and I am the lawyer that loves real estate, right? And this is brought to you by Fortreal Billionaire Realtors, a real estate brokerage firm here in Abuja, which is a sister company or somewhat of a subsidiary of Fortreal Ray Limited, a real estate company here in the city of Abuja. And as a company, we bring you the absolute best of real estate, right? And this is our platform to train realtors, our realtors from all around Nigeria. In fact, we have a realtor here on board from Uganda. He's someone who is very excited about real estate. I don't know if he's on the call right now or in this live session. I'm not sure. I can't see the participant except I scroll through. So let's say this is like a Realtors platform that cuts across Africa, and we're excited to serve you with our knowledge, our expertise, and equip you so that you are properly informed to do real estate the right way. Not just do real estate as a title. There are some guys that it makes a lot of sense for them when they're introducing themselves. In fact, the moment you introduce yourself as a real estate consultant, as a real estate, you're into real estate, the hype just increases all of a sudden, right? So this is to ensure that we're not doing real estate for the hype, but we're doing real estate for its worth, and we are having results as we should, right? So we usually have this session every Wednesday to impact knowledge, to impact all of our realtors from across Nigeria. And in our first class, what did we look at? Somebody should remind me. In our first class, what did we look at? First class, what did we look at? Second class, what did we look at? Just a brief summary, 1 minute. What did we look at in our first class, second class? This is our third class, technically our third class. So somebody should unmute the microphone. Let's be sure that we're really learning, right? First class, somebody should help us. Second class, somebody should help us. And the third class, somebody should also help us. Can you all hear me? Mr.
Yes, we can.
All right,
yes,
amazing.
Okay. The first class, I think we talked about the why, the how, the when, the 6W. That is it the 6 friends also you need to know before venturing into real estate? Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you, Mr. Fash. Somebody else should tell us what we did in our second class.
Hello. Second class,
Hi.
we talked about marketing.
All right, that's our Uganda realtor, Mr. Ado.
Yeah, we talked about marketing real estate, and you talked about understanding your audience. And the second thing you talked about, you have to create a community, like bringing your clients together. That's what I picked from our second class. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Uganda, our Uganda friend. I'm going to learn how you go speak. Say it again. I want to just say something again. I want to try to learn how to pronounce.
I'm saying our second class, we tackled about marketing real estate.
Okay, and our second class, we talked about marketing real estate. Nice. Thank you, Mr. Adolf.
Thank you.
Hopefully, when I visit Uganda, I'm sure there's somewhere I can visit in Uganda for my vacation, right?
You will get to I guess the best places to be.
I didn't hear that. All right, lost it for a moment. Okay, so somebody should tell us. That's for our second class. Thank you so much, Mr. Adolf, our realtor from Uganda. The next class we did was, somebody should help us. I'm waiting. Somebody should remind us of what we did in our third class. Somebody has reminded us of the first, the second, and we're waiting for the third. All right. Let me look for somebody to call. Victor is on this call. Stacy is on this call. Monday is on this call. Yai is on this call. So who am I calling? Mr. Yai.
I'm in a noisy environment, so that's why I didn't say anything. I'm in a noisy
Okay, so
environment. Yeah.
okay. So we can actually hear you now, so you can talk. We like the noise.
My network is not strong. So all this while you have been talking, I can't hear you well. My network
Wow.
is very, very poor. Very, very.
All right. It's all right. Somebody else can assist us with our third class, what we spoke about in our third class. For those of you who are just joining us, we're waiting for somebody to tell us what we did in our third class. That is what we are waiting for. And if nobody answers, we will not go on. That is what we are waiting for. For somebody to tell us or remind us very briefly what we did in our third class, which was last week.
Can I say something, sir?
All right, go on, please.
So we talked about marketing last week.
All right.
Marketing. Where we talk about to be able to market, we must establish clarity and focus on creating or building a community. And we said something about we identifying our target audience and know the product that is perfect for them. That way it will be easier to sell to them.
All right. That works. Thank you. So, what we've discussed so far are somewhat of they depend on each other. We started with general introduction, of course. This is like a curriculum that we have designed, right? And we're taking it step by step. Although we are skipping a lot of things because these are not conversations that you have in 45 minutes. And yes, my team and I settled with 45 minutes, which is the much we can take for these classes. If you want extensive conversations about what we are talking about, then you can enroll for our monthly paid classes, which happens once every month. And the cohort one is happening on next week, the whole of next week, Monday to Friday, 3 hours. Those who are physically in Abuja can attend, while those who are not physically in Abuja can attend online, right? So there's the online version of everything is happening at the same time. Everything is happening at the same time, right? So we're sticking to 45 minutes. So this is like a curriculum that we're taking step by step. And today we are going to be talking about branding. Today we're going to be talking about branding. And this is a good point to invite your friends who are not live on this session right now. Take a screenshot of what we are doing, put it on your WhatsApp status, copy the link. There's a place you can share what's happening here, and your friend can join immediately. This is not properly set. I don't know why I shifted it. So get on quickly, just invite your friends very quickly. So yes, we're looking at branding, and branding is a very important subject matter. And if you ask me, I think that branding is something every realtor that wants to be successful must pay attention to. If you want to be successful, if you want to do well in this sector, if you want to stand out as a realtor, branding is extremely important. This still doesn't make sense. This still doesn't make sense. Just face it up. Face it up. It's not going to work. So I said that branding is critical. I feel like branding is one thing you must pay attention to from day one. Branding is critical. Branding is something you must pay attention to from day one. And the reason for that is because, one, this industry is saturated. This industry called real estate is full of different kinds of people. This industry is one that you literally can wake up right now and all of a sudden you are a realtor. This industry is one that you technically, based on today's reality, don't need a license to begin to sell real estate. This industry is highly saturated. And for you to stand out, branding is something you must pay attention to. So like I said, anybody can literally wake up right about now and begins to call himself a realtor. Secondly, the industry is one that is a high-risk sector. Real estate is a high-risk product, or is a high-ticket product. So because it's a high-ticket product, there's a lot of process. The sales process in real estate is longer. It doesn't take you a second to decide whether you want to buy a pen or not. As a matter of fact, for you to buy a wristwatch, most of the times, it doesn't take you, the decision process or the sales process is not one that you want to drag about. It's a very short, most products are short. Their cycle of sale, they are really short. But real estate is a long process. There are times that real estate transactions take as much as 3 months. You are on that conversation. You are negotiating back and forth. So the real estate sector is one that for you to sell high-ticket products, you must pay attention to your branding. So another reason why it's important to pay attention to branding is because real estate is a high-ticket sector or a high-risk sector. And now I need us to really note, I need us to really pay attention and have it at the back of our minds that branding is not a lie. Branding is not packaging what is not in existence. Branding is not packaging what is not real. I'm going to tell us what branding is to me. But in this first part of this conversation, and I forgot to mention that we're dividing this part of our conversation into 3. There's the part where general introductions, there's the part 2, which is my philosophy of branding, and there's part 3, which is where to start branding for you to sell consistently. That's the most important part in this conversation. So number 1, branding is not a lie. Branding is not faking it. Branding is not faking it. I do understand when somebody says, fake it until you make it. As much as the phrase has the meaning that it communicates, or the meaning that it communicates, there's also that part where you need to understand in a deeper sense that really, in my opinion, don't fake it as it were. Just be you and grow through the ladder of making it. Because faking it can mean a lot of things. Faking it can mean a lot of things. Faking it can mean a lot of things. So if you want to stand out, your goal shouldn't be faking it. Your goal is what I'm going to talk about shortly. And number 3, branding is not perfection. Branding is not being perfect. Branding is not being perfect. Branding is not being perfect. Number 1, branding is not a lie. Number 2, branding is not faking it. Number 3, branding is not perfection. And yes, in addition to number 1, branding is not packaging a lie. Branding is not a lie, and it is also not packaging a lie. That is not branding. So generally, according to opado.com, branding is the process of creating a strong, positive perception of a company, forgive me again. Branding is the process of creating a strong, positive perception of a company, its products or services in the customer's mind by combining such elements as logo, design, mission statement, a consistent theme throughout all marketing communications. Effective branding helps companies differentiate themselves from their competitors and build a loyal customer base. There are some people, in fact, let me use this as an instance. So that may take our time, but let me leave that. That may take our time. Basically, the whole idea of branding is that you are able to communicate a perception in the mind of your audience that keeps them loyal to you. Of course, like I already mentioned, this industry is saturated. Every corner, there is a realtor. I think one can safely say that in every family right now, you can find one realtor or one broker. Somehow, whether it's a street agent or a street realtor, whatever. Somehow, there's one guy in your extended or immediate family that can help you get a property or get a land. So because the industry is saturated, you have to find a way to stand out. Because if you don't stand out, you are going to be considered among the crowd. And one thing I must tell us in this conversation, as far as the 40 billionaire Realtors is concerned, is always, you are not part of the crowd. You are not a member of, you are not the masses. If you're on this platform and you see yourself as part of the masses, then you are in the wrong place. Because in this place, we are not part of the masses. We are the elite. We are part of the 1%. When I just saying that right now, some person they're beginning to judge my bank account or the setting of my office to determine whether I'm the 1% or not. But that's on you. Hopefully, we'll deal with a session that will help you understand why I said what I just said. So the entire essence of this particular definition is helping you create a differentiation or helping you become different in a way that you are able to create a loyal customer base. Because the whole idea of doing business, the whole idea of doing business or wanting to do business is to create customers that be loyal to you. What I just said is powerful. Creating customers that be loyal to you. This two statements or this phrase I just used now is a phrase that you should write down and begin to meditate on and think deeply about. Creating customers that will be loyal to you. The question you should be asking yourself is how? How? This is part of the conversations that we're going to be having in our paid classes, not on this. This is okay, based on this part of the class is not the masses. Let's just say this is the general audience. The inner circle, yes, the inner circle is for those who be enrolling for the monthly paid classes. So it's important that you understand that this business you are in is one that helps you or that you should be responsible for creating customers, not just creating customers, but creating customers that will be loyal to you. And the benefit of, loyalty in this business is extremely important. If you can't create loyal customers, you're going to have issues. Because one of the benefits of creating loyal customers is that closing is easier. Closing is easier. This week I've done, last week, should I say this online? Okay, basically you guys know that I sell. I literally sell every week. There's no week that I don't sell. This week I've done about 20 million or so, a little over 20 million in sales. So what made those transactions, particularly the first one that happened on Monday, he has bought, this is the third transaction he's doing through me. The third he's doing through me. The third is doing through me. For all of these transactions, he came for inspection only for the first one. The second and the third, no inspection. He just transfers the money from Canada. That's it. He doesn't send anybody, nothing. Everything. The moment I tell him, okay, he's calling me right now. The person I'm talking about is calling me right now. So that is it. One of the benefits of creating a loyal customer is that it makes closing easier. Let's move up from there. Now, part two, my philosophy of branding. My philosophy of branding. For me, branding is first. This is the part you need to write down. Very important. This is the part you need to write down. My philosophy of branding is first, branding is who you are. You, as a person, forget the business you are into, forget what you are selling, forget the company you are working with. Branding is first who you are. Number two, branding is what you represent. Again, it is still you, who you are, and what you represent. Before you now go to what you do, what you sell, and how you sell it. Let me repeat that, but that's very powerful. Branding is first, my philosophy of branding. It is first who you are, what you represent, before what you do, what you sell, and how you sell it. So if you are the guy who just wakes up and branding is your conversation, you begin to focus on what you are doing. Oh, am I a realtor? I need to do this. I need to package myself for that and that and that. You're going to miss it because that is not the foundation of branding as far as Raymond Ijoma is concerned. In other words, I now further go on to give some form of sort of definition to this concept of branding for my philosophy. So I'm basically now saying that branding for me is amplifying, magnifying, or adding color to who you are, what you represent, what you sell, and how you sell it. In the world of today, most people focus on how you sell it. Branding to a lot of persons is how you sell it. But for me, branding is magnifying, amplifying, or adding some form of color, beauty, style to who you are, what you represent, what you sell, and how you sell it. Is this making sense to anybody? Making sense, or is making so much sense?
Much sense, sir.
Making so much sense.
Thank you. So let's now begin to break this down so that we understand it. There's no rush. This is not the one that type of conversation we should be rushing. So the first category under this part one is who you are. See, everything I'm saying right now is something that is applying and working for me. I'm not teaching you theory. I'm not, see, let me be frank with you, right? This part of the curriculum for this course, it's something that we are building. Now, for this conversation I'm having with you right now, this specific conversation I'm having with you right now, in breaking it down into category or breaking it down into a format that will make sense to you, I did this breakdown in less than 20 minutes. My team, they are here listening to me. We've been on the site since morning. We just rushed in and I did all of this breakdown I'm doing in 30 minutes. So this is me literally just breaking down practicalities and realities that I'm working on. I am representing every day to you. So this is not me doing one thing and trying to put together theory for you. This is what is practically working for me. So the first thing I'm going to say under this part, which some of you may just think is talk, is number one, who you are is critical to branding. And under who you are, what I have here is being kind. Are you kind? Are you a kind person? If you are a kind person, or you can develop yourself to be a kind person, you will do well selling real estate. If you are a caring person, you will do well selling real estate. If you are an excellent person, you will do well selling real estate. If you are a hardworking person, you will do well selling real estate. If you are deliberate or intentional about knowledge, you will do well selling real estate. If you are a leader or you are somebody who is conscious about leadership, you will do well selling real estate. If you are a person of integrity, you will do well selling real estate. If you are humble, because you see in this in this business, we are going to meet a lot of persons or have conversations with a lot of persons that in your mind, what is wrong with this man? What is wrong with you? Do you even know who you are talking to? See, I've had so many occasions that I just feel like asking this client, what is your problem? Do you think I'm a baby? What is wrong with you? How much land are you buying that you think you can talk like this? I've had so many moments like that. But I just look at, trust me, I'm not that guy. I don't take nonsense from a client. I don't. Particularly when you want to question my trust or my reputation, I have issues, serious issues with that. That is just one side of the conversation. Where I am going to on this side is where it has nothing to do with my reputation. It has nothing to do with who I am as an individual. And you just are reckless with talking. I remember one of these occasions. This guy calls me around 5 a.m. I was in the bed with my wife, 5 a.m. Because, I mean, if you want to do business with these guys who are not in Nigeria, you're going to have to, sometimes they call you 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and all of that. This guy literally calls me 5 a.m. in the morning and begins to insult me. What did I do? I put up a video online that we went to the site, and when we got there, the person who was supposed to open the gate for us thought that we were coming by 7 p.m. when what we intended was 7 a.m. So there was no way we could repeat that journey. So we just had to do the video. So for that reason, we couldn't enter the first compound. We just filmed the area and couldn't enter the compound. This guy called me. Are you a scam? And you say you were a lawyer. I can't use there's certain phrases he used that I cannot use on this call because we are online. But let me just say, he literally, I recorded the entire conversation. He literally used the F word more than 20 times. This guy was raining insult. My wife woke up and she's like, she's trying to tap me. I just kept quiet and this guy kept on talking. And you say you're a lawyer. What kind of lawyer are you? What school did you attend? What? In my mind, I'm like, what? This guy talked and 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 talked. Let me leave that aside. Should I give you this instance? I'm sure you get the idea. So basically, some clients have this thing with them. Some clients are naturally arrogant. Some are, and that is why in this business, there's a time where you should be emotional and there's a time where you should be intelligent. Our ladies, with due respect to you all, I feel like in this business, again, like I usually say, this is a natural thing, right? But for most ladies, naturally, you are more emotional than logical. For most ladies, right? I don't know if we agree. Let one lady agree so that I'll be sure that I'm safe. Is this facts? Is this a...
Yes, it's a fact.
All right, thank you. Coco Realtor. So if there are certain occasions that I've had moments where I felt like I should react emotionally. But I just look at certain situations, I'm like, for example, there's this guy that I bought. He currently, we are having a conversation about his third real estate transaction with me. And the second one, my people in Benin made a mistake with a document that everything had gone through normally. And then my people, the document was, delivery was free and everything. Gave it to dispatch rider from here to Benin to his house through a dispatch rider. And the guy who put it back in Benin didn't staple it. He didn't staple the document. That was it. If you see the way this guy was talking, I wanted to, I felt like, can you stop being petty? There's nothing. But I looked at it. Does it make sense for me not to? Because yes, it is still my responsibility because I'm the one that it's a delegated responsibility. So in my mind, I'm like, I know that messed up because if that document is or was stapled, then this guy wouldn't be talking like this. He kept on saying a number of things, but I just felt like I already messed up. And I have to find a way to be logical about it, not emotional about it. So let's move away from that. So being humble is critical. Being humble is critical. Being humble is critical for you to enjoy a great brand that people will be loyal to. There's a part where you should be proud, and I say it as well. This is me telling you, there's a part where you should be humble. There's a part I tell you to be proud. This same person that I just gave the instance with, I scolded him. I had an issue with him in our second transaction because he questioned my trust. And I laid it out from him straight up. And I thought that was going to be the end of our relationship or transaction. But I also said it in a respectful way because there's a way you can disagree with somebody, make your points clear, and not insult the person. So all of these are issues of character. All of these are issues of who you are. Because if you're not training you, then you are going to make a lot of mistakes doing real estate. You're going to make a lot of mess doing real estate. So you must be teachable. Teachability has a lot to do with what I'm talking about right now because some persons may not agree with what I'm saying. So if you refuse to be teachable, then that becomes an issue. And the last part is your attitude. Your attitude. Under who you are, your attitude. Your attitude. So these are factors that you must pay attention to as an individual. The next part is what you represent. Number one, a vision. Number two, an entity. Number three, an idea. Number four, a philosophy. And number five, an ideology, which is the same thing as an idea. What you represent. Because for me, when you move from the point of who you are, you now begin to communicate what you represent. What vision are you working with? Somebody who wants to sell real estate, do you just want to make money? Because one thing you don't know is that your vision, your why, has a way of affecting how you do this business. How you do this business. Let me jump and rush away from here. Now, the next thing is what you sell. Here's the part where I'm going to be selfish. Because if I share this deep part with you, people who paid for the course or paid for our classes will not be happy. But trust me, what you are selling is beyond what you think you are selling. And that is the core of branding. What you are selling is beyond what you are selling, and that's what you are selling is beyond what you think you are selling, and that's the core of branding. And the next part is how you sell it, which is what a lot of persons pay attention to, and what we now call branding, or what a lot of persons call branding, how you are selling it. And for me, I like to say that first of all, recognize your personality beyond how you are selling it. In my opinion, the first place you also need to pay attention to is first of all, recognize your personality. Who are you naturally? You see this my face right now? Without me talking, without me smiling, it looks like I'm a very serious person. And I'm somewhat of a balanced, serious. I play when I want to play. I'm serious when I want to be serious. And my faith has a way of betraying me. Sometimes I'm just keeping the faith like this. And some persons think oh my God, the guy is serious and all of that. But I try to create a balance. And my personality is not loud. So, because my personality is not loud, I try not to create a perception to my client. Or because my personality is not loud, I represent that personality to my client and I give them that perception of me. Who should I use as an instance? I don't want to mention somebody's name here. Who should I use? Some persons are naturally loud. And by loud, I'm not insulting them. Some persons cannot talk the way I'm talking right now. Some persons are naturally loud. Let me just keep it at that. So because they are naturally loud, their brand perception you have to understand that this is my personality, then communicate or build a brand around that personality. Because if you want to be like Raymond, or if you want to, in quote, market like Raymond, while your personality is that of Mary, then you are going to lose it. Or you are going to be building a fake brand. That is why I already said that the first foundation of being successful at branding is who you are. Who you are. So first recognize your personality, because in all you do, it is the foundation. And when you find your personality, be deliberate or intentional about charisma. Do whatever you do with passion. There's a video I was telling my guys, you can find it online. I did it this morning when I went to deliver documents to Tanzania for a client. If you watch that video is dull. That video looks like I'm tired. I don't know who saw that video. If somebody can help me, if you saw that video, just help me. Did anybody see that video? I was wearing this native. I posted it this morning.
Yes, I did.
What do you think of that video, Victor?
It was actually the usual. You very calm, collected, and you communicated value. You talked about what you wanted them to know, the same way you do your usual videos, the very calm, collected way. Yes.
Okay, another person. Any other opinion on that?
I think you were a bit
Jolly, can you speak up louder?
Yes, I think you were a bit too funny in the video.
Struggling to hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay, I said you're a bit too funny.
Can anybody hear him? I'm struggling to.
I think he said you were funny. There was a particular point you said something about Sambisa or something. I think that was what it was. Yeah. So yes, there was this part where you were quite witty.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but quite sincerely, so maybe you guys didn't see it, but for me, I felt like that video was not charismatic. That video didn't have a charm. It was, to me, dull and wasn't consistent with what I ordinarily should put out there. Does anybody feel like that? Does anybody see it from that angle? If you saw the video.
I didn't see it from that angle. I didn't, personally speaking.
Personally, I didn't see it. I actually didn't see it from that angle too. It reflected you really. Maybe it's a subjective view anyway. So I think it's the way you saw it, but I think it was okay.
All right, I'm shocked. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, in all you do, communicate it with charisma. Now, this is where you need to pay attention. No, this is not where you need to pay attention, really. This is where most persons pay attention to. But try as much as you can to create a balance between here, which is how you do it, and the other side, which is who you are. But trust me, if you can grow who you are, which is the first part, then you will do very well on this part. So, charisma, passion, a positive attitude. You see this idea of a positive attitude? Everything I'm saying right now is literally the foundation of every successful brand. Because it's not just about the company, it's not just about the ID card. There are people whose ideology are running that system. There are people whose ideology are running that company. There are people whose ideology are running that brand. And it is their personal character, it is who they are that is being reflected through that company. Just like you see a man give birth to a child and people say, oh, he's behaving like the father. What happened most of the times, or what they are trying to say in the business world, is that the child is literally is expressing, is taking over, is representing who the father is. Or just like you also say, just like most people also say, husband and wives. When the husband, some persons say when they are married for a long time, the wife begin to look, or both of them begin to look alike. I don't know. Myself and my wife are not looking alike, so I don't know. That seems not to be working for us. But on the other side, or do we look alike? I don't think so. On the other side, somebody just said something that on the other side, some people say when a husband speaks, that most of the times, depending on how long the couple are married or they've been married, that the wife will most likely say the same thing or something similar. That is an idea of culture. Every organization has a culture, but that culture is not independent. That culture is coming from the people running that organization. That is why I have this developer who says that if they start a work and it gets to site and it doesn't make sense, no matter how much has gone into that work, they will destroy everything and make sure they do it again and do it well. So it's about the personality. It's about the people who are running this thing, which is you. And if you treat your business as a brand, it is not everything you do online. It is not every comment you make online. It's not every post you make online. It's not every controversy you get involved in. It's not every trend you jump on. And the last part is where I'm going to end this, which we're not going to talk about. Won't be able to. Where to start your branding. And I will just make one statement here, and now I will attend to a couple of questions. Part 3, where to start your branding. And the statement is, if you can sell yourself successfully, it will be easier to sell real estate. Because most of the times, clients don't buy the product. In fact, most of the times, clients don't buy the company selling the product, rather. Most of the times, the clients don't buy the company selling the product. They buy you who is selling it for real estate. I've sold for companies that I've done plots of land back to back, multiple plots, multiple sales back to back to back to back to back. The last one I did for last month was 19 plots in 1 month. Nobody asked me who the company was. And out of the 19 plots sold, only one person, it was 1 or 2 now, maybe one. I think only 2 people came for inspection. The rest just sent money. 3 million, 2 million, 1.5 million, 2 million, like that. And when I was having the conversation, even the owner of the company came and like, Raymond, how are you doing this thing? They're actually not buying from my company because nobody has had. When I went there, when I approached the company, because he's my friend, when we had that conversation about selling their product, the highest company that has sold for them over like since they started selling last year was about 10 plots. And I told him that we're going to break that record. We're going to Put that behind. And excuse me, in less than a month, we did 19, right? Less than 1 month, I did 19 plots there. And none of them asked the question about who the company was. It just felt like, so who you are as an individual is critical to how you're going to do this. And that is what effectively communicates your brand. Again, if you can sell yourself successfully, this is the introduction under part 3, which we cannot go into in details. If you can sell yourself successfully, it is easier to sell real estate. I didn't say it is easy. It is easier to sell real estate. And before we take your questions, remember that we are hosting Portfolio this Friday. This Friday by 8 p.m., we are hosting Portfolio right on this channel, and you do not want to miss that session. Portfolio is giving us 6 surefire ways to get paying clients. And the moment you are not live watching the conversation or listening to him, after that, you are going to be paying to get the recorded or the replay version of that conference or that meeting. Only those that will be having free access to the replay are those who pay for or who enroll for our monthly paid classes, Executive Masterclass, that will be having both the online version and the physical version happening Monday to Friday, the whole of next week. Amazing. And after that, there's going to be mentorship, accountability sessions, and all of that. So Ofiang will be on the group. Do reach out to her. Ofiang, Victor, they're dropping messages on the group right now that will give you further details about enrolling for the class. Victor has enrolled, a couple of persons have enrolled for the classes, the paid classes, which is happening next week, the whole of next week, right? And like I mentioned, we'll go into a lot of details and practicality. A lot of things I skipped already here that we'll go deep into in our paid classes, right? And then the paid class also affords the opportunity to become a Fortreal certified broker, which also gives you the opportunity to earn passive income. All of that will be discussed during the course of the training, right? So let me attend to a couple of questions. If you have a question, kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear it. No question, I guess. 5, 4, 3.
Okay. Hello.
All right, go ahead.
So for the class on the 21st to 25th, is there a possibility to begin paying gradually before the class actually begins? Like maybe we don't have the money to pay at once, and we pay installmentally.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So we're already like how many days to? Today is Wednesday. Class starts on Monday to Friday. So yeah, you can make a deposit now to commit yourself, and pay the rest before Monday. Or if you think you can't do or you can't meet up by Monday, you can also start with initial deposit and you enroll for the second version or the second cohort, which will be in September. This will be happening every last week of every month. But of course, there are deals that you can close between now and September. So you don't want to wait till December to September to learn what you need to learn for you to make money, right? And very importantly, please, December is coming. The season of selling real estate is coming. Usually, clients buy a lot of real estate November, December, and a little part of January for those who could not conclude in December. So trust me, guys. This is not a period you should joke with. This is a period you should intensify your marketing efforts, intensify your content marketing, intensify anything you need to intensify, because a lot of sales will be happening in December. So you need to gather all the knowledge you need to gather right now so that you're not missing out. Like we always say, you can do very well with marketing and you miss out through closing. You can get a lot of leads. This month I've gotten almost 30 leads just this month, right? So it is one thing for me to gather the leads, it's another to close them. So it's important that you are able to market well and close well in this season that we are entering, right? So you don't need to procrastinate anything. If you want to enroll for the class, this is the right time to do so and get on it right away. Both Young and Victor are on the channel to respond to further questions. Any other question? Any other question? Going, and gone. All right, guys. Thank you. See you 3 p.m. next week. 3 p.m. next week for another free training. Remember, this Friday, tomorrow, this Friday, 3 p.m., Paul Fo, the phenomenal Paul Fo, who is a member of the Forbes Coaches Council, will be with us. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Don't forget, 8 p.m. Friday, Pofo will be with us. An international award-winning international sales expert. I'm even this thing is overwhelming me right now. But Pofo will be with us on Friday, 8 p.m. And it is absolutely for free. Absolutely for free. But after the session, after the live session is done, the replay, you will have to pay for it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next week on Friday. Next week, see you on Friday, then see you next week, Wednesday by 3 p.m. same time. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I wish you success for the rest of the week. Bye.